My name is Emma. I am 29 years old. I live in a small city called Willow Grove. It is a quiet city. There are nice parks and small coffee shops. I live alone in a small apartment. My apartment is cozy. It has one bedroom, a small kitchen, and a living room with a big window. I like to sit by the window and watch the people walk by. I work at a library. I love books. Reading takes me to different places. But sometimes, reading is not enough. Sometimes I feel very lonely. Most of my friends are married. They have families. They have children. They are busy with their lives. We meet sometimes, maybe once a month for coffee. But it is not the same as before. Evenings are the hardest. I come home from work. The apartment is quiet. Too quiet. I eat dinner alone. I watch TV alone. I read alone. The silence feels heavy sometimes. Like a blanket I cannot take off. I wanted someone to talk to. Someone to share my day with. Someone to laugh with. One evening, my friend Laura called me. She asked Emma, "How are you?" I said, "I am okay, Laura. Just tired." But she knew me well. "Are you lonely again?" She asked gently. I didn't want to say yes. But it was true. Yes, I whispered. Laura said, "Why don't you try online dating? Many people find love online now." I was scared. Online dating. Meeting strangers. It felt dangerous. I told Laura, "I don't know. It feels strange." Laura said, "Just try it, Emma. Be careful. Talk to people first. What do you have to lose?" So that night I did it. My hands were shaking a little. I made a profile on a dating website. I wrote simple things about myself. I like books. I like quiet walks. I like tea. I uploaded a picture of me smiling near the library. I felt nervous. What if no one likes me? What if someone bad messages me? I closed the website quickly. Maybe this was a bad idea. A few days passed. I didn't check the website. I was too scared. Then one evening I felt very lonely again. The silence in my apartment was loud. I thought about Laura's words. What do you have to lose? I opened the website again. I had some messages. My heart beat fast. Most messages were simple. "Hi, you look nice." But one message was different. It was from a man named James. His message said, "Hello, Emma. I see you like books. I love reading too. Your smile looks very kind." I looked at his profile. He had brown hair and warm brown eyes. He was smiling in his picture. He looked friendly. He was 32 years old. He lived in a town nearby, about 1 hour away. His profile said he liked hiking, movies, and cooking. He seemed nice. Normal. I replied to his message. I said, "Hello, James. Thank you for your message. Yes, I love books. What are you reading now?" He replied quickly. We started talking. We talked about books, about our favorite authors, about movies we liked. We talked about our dreams. He told me he wanted to travel more. I told him I wanted a small garden one day. We messaged each other every day. Every morning, I woke up and checked my phone. There was always a message from James. "Good morning, Emma. Have a nice day." It made me smile. In the evenings, we chatted for hours. He asked me about my day at the library. He listened. He really listened. He made me laugh. He told me jokes. He shared stories about his work. He worked in an office, doing something with computers. I didn't understand it much, but I liked listening to his voice when we started calling each other. Talking to James filled the quiet spaces in my life. I didn't feel so lonely anymore. I felt happy, excited. I looked forward to his messages, his calls. He felt like a friend, a close friend, maybe more. After 2 weeks of talking online, James asked, "Emma, can we meet? I want to see you in person." I was nervous again. Meeting a stranger, was it safe? But I felt like I knew him. He felt real good. So I said yes. We decided to meet at a coffee shop in my city, a public place. That felt safer. The day we met, I was so nervous. I changed my clothes 3 times. I looked in the mirror many times. What if he doesn't like me in person? What if I say something silly? I walked to the coffee shop. My hands were cold. I saw him sitting near the window. He looked just like his picture, maybe even nicer. He smiled when he saw me. His eyes were warm. "Emma," he said, standing up. "You look beautiful." I blushed. "Thank you, James. You look nice too." We sat down and ordered coffee. Talking in person was easy. Easier than I thought. We talked for 2 hours. We laughed. We shared stories. It felt like we had known each other for a long time. He held my hand when we said goodbye. His hand was warm, strong. I felt a spark, something special. After that first meeting, we met every weekend. Sometimes he came to Willow Grove. Sometimes I went to his town. We went for walks in the park. We visited museums. We watched movies. We cooked dinner together at his apartment. His apartment was bigger than mine. It was neat and tidy. He was a good cook. Everything felt perfect. Too perfect, maybe. James was very romantic. He brought me flowers. He wrote me small notes. He always told me I was beautiful. He said, "Emma, you make me so happy. I feel like I have known you forever." I felt the same way. It felt like a dream. 1 month after we first started talking online, we were having dinner at his apartment. He had cooked my favorite pasta. There were candles on the table. Soft music was playing. He looked at me with serious eyes. "Emma," he said, taking my hand, "I know this is fast. Very fast. But I feel something very strong for you. I don't want to wait. I don't want to lose you. I love you. Will you marry me?" My heart stopped. Marry him. After only 1 month of knowing him, my mind screamed, "This is too fast. You don't really know him." But my heart felt full. I looked into his eyes. They looked sincere, honest. I thought about the lonely nights. I thought about how happy I felt with him. I didn't want to go back to being alone. I wanted this feeling to last forever. "Yes," I whispered. "Yes, James, I will marry you." He smiled the biggest smile I had ever seen. He put a ring on my finger. It was simple but beautiful. We hugged tightly. I felt tears in my eyes, tears of happiness or fear. I wasn't sure. We got married 2 weeks later, just like that. It was a small wedding. Only us, Laura, and 2 of his friends at the city hall. Laura looked worried. She hugged me and whispered, "Are you sure, Emma? It's so fast." I smiled and said, "I'm sure." I love him. But deep inside, a small voice still whispered, "Are you?" I moved into James's apartment. I left my job at the library. I left my small, cozy apartment by the window. I left Willow Grove. My new life started. The first few weeks were like a honeymoon. James was sweet, attentive. He brought me breakfast in bed. We went for weekend trips to nearby places. We talked about our future, buying a house, maybe having children one day. I felt happy. I thought, see, it wasn't too fast. This is real. But slowly things started to change. Little things at first. James liked things very neat, extremely neat. If I left a book on the table, he would move it immediately. If I left a cup in the sink, he would sigh loudly. He said, "Emma, please keep things tidy. I like order." I tried. I really tried. But sometimes I forgot. And his sighs made me feel small, like I was doing something wrong. He also didn't like me talking to Laura much. When I called her, he would ask, "Who are you talking to? What are you talking about?" He said, "We are married now, Emma. We should be enough for each other. You don't need to talk to old friends all the time." I felt confused. Laura was my best friend. Why couldn't I talk to her? I started calling her less. When I did call, I spoke quietly, hoping James wouldn't hear. He also started working late more often. Before we married, he always came home on time. Now, he often came home after I was already in bed. He said, "Work is busy, Emma. I have big projects." I wanted to believe him. But sometimes he smelled different. Like perfume. A woman's perfume. I asked him about it once. He got angry. "Are you accusing me? Don't you trust me? I work hard for us." His anger scared me. I stopped asking questions. The man I married was not exactly the same man I met online. The man online was always calm, always listening. The man I married was sometimes moody, sometimes quiet and distant, sometimes easily angered. I didn't understand. Did I make him this way? Or was this the real James? The James the first didn't know. Because we married too fast. I felt lonely again. Even though I was married. Even though I lived with someone. I missed my old apartment. I missed my job at the library. I missed my simple, quiet life. I missed talking to Laura freely. I felt trapped. One evening, I was cleaning the house. I found a box in James's closet. It was hidden behind some old clothes. I opened it. Inside, there were letters. Letters from another woman. Her name was Sophie. The letters were old, from before he met me. But they were love letters. Very passionate letters. They talked about a future together. About promises. My hands shook. Who was Sophie? Did he tell me about her? No. He never mentioned her name. I felt cold inside. He had a past. Everyone has a past. But he never shared this with me. He told me about past girlfriends. But not about Sophie. Not about someone he seemed to love so much. Why did he hide this? That night, when James came home, I asked him about Sophie. I showed him the letters. His face turned pale, then red. He snatched the letters from my hand. "Why were you looking through my things?" He shouted. "This is my privacy." I stepped back. I wasn't looking. I found the box while cleaning. Who is she, James? Why didn't you tell me? He didn't answer the question. He just kept shouting about privacy, about trust. He said I broke his trust by looking in the box. I felt confused. He hid things from me, but I broke his trust. We argued. It was our biggest fight yet. He didn't explain about Sophie. He just got angry and slept on the couch. I lay in bed alone. The silence was heavy again, just like in my old apartment. But this silence felt worse. It was filled with doubt, with fear, with regret. Did I marry a stranger? Did I make the biggest mistake of my life? I wanted to run away, back to Willow Grove, back to my books and my quiet window. But I was married. This was my life now. I had made my choice. Too fast. The days after the fight were cold. James and I barely spoke. He went to work early. He came home late. We ate dinner in silence. The apartment felt like a hotel, not a home. I missed the easy laughter we shared when we first met. I missed the warmth in his eyes. Now, his eyes looked guarded. I felt so alone. More alone than when I was single. I decided to call Laura. I needed to talk to someone. I whispered into the phone when James was not home. Laura, I cried softly. I think I made a mistake. A terrible mistake. Laura listened patiently. She didn't say, I told you so. She just said, oh, Emma, I'm so sorry you're hurting. What happened? I told her everything. About the neatness. About him not liking me talking to friends. About the late nights. About the letters from Sophie. About the fight. Laura was quiet for a moment. Then she said, Emma, marriage is hard. Especially when it starts so fast. You didn't really know him. Maybe he didn't really know you either. Have you tried talking to him calmly? When you are both not angry. I shook my head. He just gets angry. He doesn't want to talk about Sophie. He says I broke his trust. Laura sighed. Maybe he feels scared too. Maybe he's afraid you'll leave him if you know his past. It doesn't make it right. But maybe that's why he hid it. You both need to learn to communicate. To be honest, even when it's hard. Her words made sense. Maybe James was scared too. Maybe he wasn't just angry. Maybe he felt vulnerable. I decided to try talking to him again. Calmly this time. That evening, I made his favorite dinner. I lit the candles again, like on the night he proposed. When he came home, he looked surprised. We ate dinner quietly. After dinner, I took a deep breath. James, I said softly, can we talk? Please don't get angry. I just want to understand. He looked wary, but he nodded. Okay. I was hurt when I found the letters, I said. Not just because they were love letters, but because you didn't tell me about her. About Sophie. It made me feel like you were hiding a big part of yourself from me. It made me wonder what else you are hiding. It made me feel like I don't really know you. James looked down at his hands. He was quiet for a long time. I waited. I didn't push. Finally he spoke. His voice was low. I should have told you about Sophie, he said. We were together for 3 years. We were engaged. But she left me for someone else. It broke my heart. Completely. I didn't think I could love again. He looked up at me. His eyes were sad. When I met you, Emma, everything felt different. You were so kind, so gentle. You made me feel happy again. Hopeful. But I was scared. Scared to tell you about Sophie. Scared you would think I wasn't over her. Scared you would compare yourself to her. Scared you might leave me too. He reached across the table and took my hand. Hiding it was wrong. I see that now. I was afraid. When you found the letters, I felt exposed. Ashamed. I reacted badly. I'm sorry, Emma. Truly sorry. Hearing his side of the story changed something inside me. He wasn't just angry. He was hurt. Just like me. We were two people who had been lonely, who had found each other quickly, and who were now trying to build a life together without really knowing how. I was scared too, James, I said. Scared that marrying so fast was a mistake. Scared that you weren't the person I thought you were. We talked for a long time that night. We talked about our fears, our doubts, our hopes. It wasn't easy. There were tears. There were long silences. But we listened to each other. Really listened. For the first time since we got married, it felt like we were connecting again. Like we were partners, trying to understand each other. Things didn't change overnight. Marriage is not a fairy tale. We still had challenges. James was still very neat. I still missed my old life sometimes. He still worked long hours. But he tried to call me more. He tried to be more open about his feelings. I tried to be more understanding of his need for order. I started talking to Laura regularly again. And James didn't complain. He understood I needed my friends. We started doing small things together again. We took walks after dinner. We cooked together on weekends. We started talking about the future again, but more slowly this time. We learned that marriage needs work. It needs honesty. It needs patience. It needs forgiveness. We learned that loving someone you met online and married fast is complicated. You skip the slow steps of getting to know someone. You jump into the deep end. Sometimes you find out the water is colder than you thought. Sometimes you find hidden rocks. But sometimes you also learn to swim together. It has been 1 year since we got married. Is our marriage perfect? No. Do I still have doubts sometimes? Do I regret marrying James? I don't know. Some days are hard. Some days I still feel a bit lost. But other days are good. We laugh together. We support each other. We are learning. Slowly, I learned that finding love online can happen. But love is just the beginning. Building a life together takes much more than messages and quick meetings. It takes time. Time to know someone fully. Time to build trust. Time to face challenges together. I learned that loneliness can make you make fast decisions. Sometimes those decisions work out. Sometimes they bring pain. But every choice teaches us something. My fast choice taught me about myself, about my need for connection, about my fear of being alone. It also taught me about patience, about communication, about the hard work of love. Maybe James and I will make it. Maybe we won't. The future is not clear. But we are trying. We are talking. We are learning to be partners. We are learning to navigate the life we chose together, one day at a time. If you are listening to my story, maybe you feel lonely too. Maybe you are thinking about online dating. Maybe you met someone fast. My advice is simple. Be careful. Be honest with yourself. Don't let loneliness push you into something too fast. Take your time. Get to know the person, their past, their flaws, their dreams. Ask questions. Listen. And most importantly, listen to your own heart. But also listen to your mind. Love is beautiful, but it also needs wisdom. It needs time to grow strong roots. Thank you for listening to my story. It's not a perfect story. It's a real story about love, mistakes, and learning. I hope it helps someone out there. Remember, it's okay to be lonely sometimes. It's okay to want love. Just be kind to yourself and take your time. Your happiness is important.